Hey guys, and welcome to episode 4, I believe it is, of What If Civilization Started Over. Um, so last episode we saw the war, and I believe it is episode 4 too, and the start of the Age of Expansion, as well as the claiming of England and it fragmenting into a bunch of pieces. Now, England is where we will be starting this episode, where England is dropping into chaos. It's kind of already in chaos, but it's going to be in more chaos, if you know what I mean. So, England is a country in our world. Well, it's not really, it's the United Kingdom in our world. But yeah. So England doesn't exist in this world. It's just a bunch of separate countries. However, the first action here in England, other than the claimation and the separating of it, claimation? No, claiming of it, is this country invading this country. Now, obviously, there are some countries bigger than others. But some are becoming more powerful, such as this one, which is beginning to conquer areas. And this Welsh one actually is also pretty strong, invading these two countries. Well, not these two, these three countries in southern Wales, as well as leaking a bit over the border into England. Also, this is probably going to be kind of short, but who cares? The Welsh will annex that and begin invasions into this pink country, completely annexing it as well, becoming easily probably the largest nation on the on the island of Great Britain. Down here, since the Age of Expansion has already begun, the Teal team will begin swooping up their coast over here and sapping their way across the coast over here, becoming a rather strong nation. Oh, sorry about that. This country will continue its expansions into Iberia, claiming more of it until reaching up into Galicia. However, this is where they suffer their first defeats, which is none other than Portugal, seceding and joining as a new state on the world stage and one in a pretty good position at that. Portugal, of course, controls eastern Iberia, where Portugal is, however, also bleeding into some of modern day Spain. However, not too much. It's not too much of Spain. Well, modern Spain, anyway, is controlled by humanity. However, they will quickly begin expansions into the Iberian Peninsula until their station looks like this. However, this means that this part isn't as well connected, this part down here isn't as well connected to the country that they originated from, this country, the African country, and so the Algerian country, the Tunisian country, whatever you want to call it. So this area will break away into actually using a Spanish-like color, which was not intended. Pushing down to Gibraltar, however, Gibraltar will remain under the control of the North Africans, the Spanish, and the Portuguese, not wanting to get involved in a war, will split the Iberian Peninsula into two, with this being the official borderline, and Portugal claiming all of this side for itself, and however, and this country be getting getting all of this side. However, there isn't a distinctive line making Iberia, so this Spanish country claims that it owns all the rest of Europe. However, it doesn't, and its legitimate claims only sweep up to here, making it smaller than the Portuguese country. Over here, the brown team, which has been expanding greatly, the great Yemen country, will solidify its block of control up here, moving into straighter lines and continuing making themselves control more and more and more of Arabia until they look like, sorry about that, this. So they look like this, and all is well until they begin expansion, which is not classified, you know. They begin quick, badly quick expansion into Iran and India, where the brown team's first, well, I guess, really, really bad thing happens to it with the grayish Indian country revolutionizing to form yet another season of civilizations. However, that's not all. No, we already have the color up. The tealish blue, the dark tealish blue country makes a major expansion into existing, claiming all of their claims are there. However, that is not the end of the brown. The brown will gladly fight a war against this Yemenese country. However, it was agreed in the peace treaty that they wouldn't go to war for some time. And that treaty's still in effect, and so Arabia will conceive, just making an agreement with the Arabian country to split this area like this. Arguably very much in the favor of the Yemenis country. Now, this episode won't have too many wars in it, not in them, because it's more countries are focused on expansion into unclaimed territories than expansion into areas already claimed by humanity. As yes, also these colors are the only places where humanity is habitating, as this is also basically what if humanity started over, but they formed civilizations right away. But that's less catchy of a title than what if civilizations started over. And so, the brown team expands like this in that direction, agreeing to split yet again more of the Middle East, this time with the red team, actually. And this becomes quickly colonialist, except there won't really be colonialism in this because, well, they will claim stuff in the New World, but I don't mean there won't be colonialism as in claiming lands already claimed by other people across the seas, as there are no other people across the seas. So, no offense to Native Americans, this is not meant to offend or harm or and do anything to anyone. This is entertainment purposes only. I see you thinking it isn't. Okay, go away. Okay. Anyway, this becomes the first almost region to be claimed, the Middle East. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Okay, it's not over yet. The French country that rules all of China, claims this, that Chinese country, claims that which angers the Spanish country, as they believe they control all the globe. And let me just fix up this border a little bit. As they believe that they should control all the rest of Europe, as the agreement made with Portugal did not decide on what the borders of the Iberian Peninsula were. And so now Spain is claiming that the Iberian Peninsula is the entirety of Europe, and you know the drill. So they secede. Wait, they don't secede. However, French people leave France. I know, shocking. Except where do they go, you might be asking? Well, they decide to go off on their own, to form their own nation, somewhere unknown to humanity, right next door to France. That is very well known to humanity. Catalonia becomes the center of the newest civilization in the globe, also claiming the Balearic Islands. However, this is where war begins. In fact, with the Spanish invading into France. But that will do it for today's episode. Please like and subscribe. Oh, sorry, this is short, and I will see you